Hi guys, this is Zilla, and I'm back on the Public Test Realm version 2. And yesterday I did experiments with the Midway, and I found that the anti-aircraft fire was just ferocious, and I was losing squadrons of planes to stock Tier 9 ships and stock destroyers. So I decided, okay, well, let's see if it's just as fierce down here at Tier 6. This is the USS Ranger. It is going to be Tier 6 when it goes on the live server. Again, you're only going to have 4, 6, 8, and 10 for the time being when this goes live. It will be going live. So, forum guys, stop. Just stop. If you don't like it, fine. I can respect that. But stop screaming and whining and crying. Maybe you need to go to your safe space. This is going to come into the game. It is not going to be canned for the simple, logical reason that Wargaming has spent a lot of time, invested a lot of money into this X-Pack, and they are not going to give up on it, and it's not going away. Just as submarines are going to be coming to the game. Alright? So leave it alone. If you don't like it, great. That's your choice. Okay? But don't try and ruin it for everybody else. So, there's a couple of things I want to demonstrate in this game. Number one, is the carrier movement consistent? Are we going backwards at any time? So what I'm going to do at the initial start of this match in the co-op battle is I'm going to zigzag across the back of the map and see what happens with the carrier. And the other thing too is we're going to see if the anti-aircraft is just as fierce at Tier 6, relatively, as it is at Tier 10. Okay? So we'll get into that and we'll be back when we get there. Okay, that took a minute. But here we are. And I am the only human being. It's a shame, really. There should be a lot of people testing this. You know, as many forum posts as I've seen about this, complaining about this, I don't see them. Where are these people? I've been on the test server now consistently since the early beta, and where are they at? I don't see them. You know, I'm just saying. Not saying they've not played it, but where are they at? So, anyway, let's do the zigzag thing and see how the carrier acts. I'm going to pull up the map.
Battle starts.
Okay, and I'm going to click over here. Then I'm going to hold the shift button. I'm going to click over there. And then I'm going to click down there. And then I'm going to click over here. And I'm going to go all the way over there. And let's see if the carrier moves weird. Okay, it's going forward. So let me get rocket planes up, and then when we come back to the carrier, we will check and see what it's doing.
Maintaining present course.
Now, at this tier, you don't get the Tiny Tim rockets, you just get regular rockets. And these are Wildcat fighters. And flying over these islands. By the way, as you're flying over these islands and whatnot, the view is fantastic, and you get to take a top-down view on some of these vistas and whatnot, and these little towns on the islands. But you will find Easter eggs that Wargaming had put into the game probably long before this that are on these islands. There's a dinosaur island, there's Kong Island, I believe there's even an Easter Island. I have not found an island for like Wilson Castaway yet, but let's see if we can't drop on this cruiser. See if the rockets act right. No, they're a little bit off, and that's because of my lag. That's not because of Wargaming. Okay, I'm going to try this guy here. Nope. Okay. See, that's a glitch. It took off, and yeah, I didn't take off. They took off on their own. So I've got a squadron up that I can't really do anything with, because if you look at the bottom of the screen, you see the icons aren't there. So that's something that needs to be addressed, Wargaming. These planes just taking off right away as soon as you get back. That's not cool. That's not a good thing. And I'm not able to steer with the mouse right now. You'll notice there's only 4 of them, and that's because it jerked them up before they were ready. So only 4 of them are ready to go, and it's kind of like an emergency launch, if you will. So the only way I know of to get this glitch out is just to launch the rockets and press the F key and get back to the plane. If I press the F key right now, it's not going to go back to the carrier. It just won't do it. This is a glitch. So
Approaching target.
we'll launch rockets, and I don't expect it to do anything even if I did hit the target, because again, this is a glitch. It's a very irritating glitch because I've just wasted 4 planes for nothing, and I have to steer with the A and D key, which is irritating in and of itself. I can not even
We're under attack.
use the mouse, so I'm just going to dive and drop these rockets.
Team is taking the lead.
We're under attack.
See, there's the reticle, and there's where my rockets go, and I think that's because of my lag.
Victory is
And I'll hit the F key. Now let's look at our carrier and see where it's going. It's not going backwards, it's going forward, so that's a good thing. I like that. Okay, and we'll get torpedo bombers up, and we'll see what that does. These are devastators.
airborne.
There are some minor graphical things that they need to do with these planes. For example, as you saw with the landing gear coming up, it just kind of jerks up. The Wildcat didn't do that. The Wildcat had manually cranked landing gear. So it didn't go up real quick like that. It went up rather slowly. And even with the powered landing gear, they didn't jerk up into the wheel well like that. They went up smoothly. So that's one little graphical thing later on down the line that they could address. Maybe put some different skins on the planes. You know, they could address that. I'm going to start my approach here,
Engaging enemy.
and anti-aircraft's pretty fierce here. Pretty fierce. We're going to adjust a little bit, and we're going to launch those torps.
Returning to ship. We're under attack.
Torps are a little bit too slow, and they really just don't hit hard enough. 2 torps for almost 8,000 damage on a battleship. No. And this anti-aircraft is just as fierce here, as you can see. My planes are gone. If I had a limited hangar space, again, I would just be an XP Pinata, because I wouldn't have any planes to launch. So I'm going to pull up the dive bombers and see what they do. But, you know, I mean, come on, let's be honest. 2 torp hits for 7,000 damage? Really? That's not a lot. And I bet you if I get a bomb hit or 2, that'll do more damage than the torps did. I'm just betting. If I get a bomb hit. That's the key. So, these are Vindicators. I've already talked about Vindicators in another video. I would prefer to see the Dauntless at this tier, but I guess they're saving that for tier 7. It's got to be higher than the Vindicator. So I didn't see it at tier 8.
Taking fire.
So let's get across the nose of that battleship. Look at this fire. Yeah,
Engaging enemy.
that's pretty ferocious. We'll drop right there. I don't think it'll hit.
Returning to ship.
And it didn't. And my planes are gone. Yeah. I want to say nerf the AA, but good lord. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up torpedo bombers again. And we'll see if my carrier, when it makes that turn, if it goes
Maintaining
backwards.
present course.
And here initially I'm able to steer with the mouse, but then sometimes during the course of your flight it just will stop working and you won't be able to steer with the mouse anymore, and you'll have to steer with the A and D keys. And I really wish that Wargaming would just ditch the A and D key altogether for plane control and just stick with the mouse steering left and right. I'm not asking for World of Warplanes, where you can adjust altitude and all that. All I'm asking for is to be able to move quickly with the mouse left and right and to steer the planes. Because let's say I'm approaching this battleship over here and a destroyer pops out on the right and I want to target that. Well, if I can't move quickly with the mouse on one way or the other, I'm not going to be able to engage the destroyer. So that's a co-op game. We won. I only did 7,900 damage. Um, Again, but I think we saw A, the carrier's not sailing backwards, and B, the anti-aircraft fire is comparatively just as fierce at this tier as it is at tier 10. And if that's the case, I think you're going to turn off a lot of players that get introduced to CVs, because they're never going to do a good amount of damage or feel useful for their team, and they're not going to be able to get their planes to the ships. Or they're just going to get one pass with the planes. That's not very fun, wargaming. Um, and I'm not saying the guys that are on the receiving end are having fun either, but you got to give the aircraft some chance of success to get to the ship. And if I'm only going to do 2 torpedo hits in a run, and the rest of my planes are going to get shot down, then please let's make those torpedoes count. Instead of 7,900 damage, give me 10,000 damage. Not asking for a nuclear weapon. I'm just asking to do substantial damage if I hit with those torpedoes, because the cost to me is pretty big as far as that squadron goes. So that's all for today, guys. Y'all be good to each other. Have a wonderful day. Bye.